Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Ralston. I'm here at ABI headquarters with my colleague Nicole Crane. As you all know, Nicole leads ABI's public policy work, and we're here to talk a little bit about yesterday's Iowa general election. Nicole, give us a rundown of some of the general things you think following yesterday's results.
Great, be happy to, Mike. It was a bit of a late night last night and a few surprises in the Iowa legislature, but overall, Iowans really got out to vote. So far, the early results say about 60 to 61% of Iowans voted, registered voters voted in the midterm, which huge turnout for the midterms, and we're seeing that nationwide.
And no matter what else, that's terrific.
That is, and I think that's a testament too to the work that ABI members do, and we had the iavotes.com website. We've been really promoting that, so it's great to see the Iowans really take their duty to vote seriously.
Okay. As we talk about some of the general perspectives from yesterday, one of the first places to start is always Polk County. It seems to come in first every year, the results, I mean.
Yes, so Polk County came in first. Polk County was pretty difficult for the Republicans. The incumbent governor, Kim Reynolds, was down by quite a few thousand votes. And then also in the Des Moines suburbs, which we've been hearing all along, was a tough night for Friend of Iowa Business endorsed candidates. Chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Peter County, is a huge loss for the Association of Business and Industry. That district has trended Democrat in the last several years, and it was just too much for Chairman County, although a popular incumbent to overcome. Representative Highfill and Johnston lost. Representative Kester and Ankeny lost.
So interesting results from the suburbs, and we thought it might be interesting there. What other thoughts do you have about the general election?
Yeah, generally statewide, it was a good night for the Iowa Republicans again. The Iowa Republicans held the governorship, the Secretary of State, and Secretary of Agriculture. Incumbent Auditor Mary Mosman, who is a CPA, lost to Rob Sand, who is Assistant Attorney General. That was a huge fundraising race. That race typically is not super political and became extremely political this year. The Iowa Senate, the Republicans gained seats. The Senate Republicans now have a majority of 32 to 18. And then the Iowa House, although they had big losses, the Republicans had big losses in Polk County, they were able to, again, still hold a majority at 54-46 right now. There are a few outstanding races.
Very close races that it will likely go to recount and that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's two of those. So Bergen up in northeast Iowa, Winnebago County, and then one that was on no one's radar is down in Fairfield. Phil Miller, an incumbent, a popular incumbent. The Republicans didn't even have a candidate there until July. The Republican challenger so far is up about 40 votes against the Democrat incumbent, and we think that will hold. I mean, 40 votes is a pretty solid.
That's a lot to be overturned.
Yes, yeah.
It's interesting, we've talked about this before, that in a year where one party picked up seats in one chamber, they lost seats in the other chamber, and I don't know what to say about that except that it's an interesting year and kind of is indicative of how crazy this year has been.
Indeed, I mean it's interesting just to see, for example, in the Bowl, which used to be Representative Hagenau's seat, and Bergman, that's Senator Charles Schneider's Senate seat. Well, he wasn't on the ballot this year.
That's right.
So I think there's some Senate incumbents in the metro areas that weren't on the ballot this year that could have had much more difficult races if that had been the case.
And if you're one of those candidates, you better be paying attention to what happened yesterday and act accordingly.
Yes.
It was a good year again for Friend of Iowa Business endorsed candidates. You and your team do a great job representing businesses when those endorsements are made. And so that you all know, we often say at ABI, we'll support anybody who's pro-business. Could be a Republican, could be a Democrat, could be a Whig or a Tory, but if they support business, we support them. And so good work from you and your team in making sure those candidates were supported.
Well, and really all the thanks go to ABI members and PAC investors for their support of the ABI PAC, their support of the Iowans for Jobs initiative, and then of course their ability to talk to their employees about getting out and voting, because that's really what made the difference. We ended up, it wasn't a near perfect night like 2 years ago when we made this report, but we ended up with about 85% of IPAC endorsed candidates winning their election. And the Iowans for Jobs initiative campaign that we did, we went 2 for 4. Incumbent Walt Rogers up in Cedar Falls lost his race, but Ashley Henson, a first-time incumbent in Marion, won. Representative Gary Carlson, who ran the Workers' Compensation Reform Bill over in Muscatine, a huge ABI member area, won solidly his race. And then, of course, I mentioned Representative County already. But again, the thanks goes to ABI members for their great work.
You're right. Well, thank you, Nicole.
Yeah,
Thanks very
absolutely.
much.
There'll be more information coming in another election update later this morning.
Excellent. We'll look forward to that, and thank you to ABI members for their leadership and support.